Today I will show you once again why supply and demand govern all markets, the stock market, the crypto market and forex market, all markets, and why price action, pure price action like the one you can see here on the weekly time frame, is still the most powerful trading tool you will ever use. We are looking at Smith and Wesson brands. This is an American stock. You probably know the brand, and you will see these two weekly imbalances created being respected as if the chart were whispering, okay, follow the big boys, forget the noise. And that's what we do with supply and demand. We set and forget. That's why the channel is called like this. In the community, we set the trade and forget about the noise. And if you are learning to trade stock with price action, especially supply and demand, this video will open your eyes, hopefully. So be patient. So this is Alfonso from Center for Line Trading Academy, and today I'm going to dive into, well, something that proves once again why I always say that price action candlesticks is the real only indicator that doesn't lie, and supply and demand are the forces that move everything, the stock market included. And yes, not even earnings, as we're going to take a look now, can escape their power. They are irrelevant. So having a quick look at Smith and Wesson chart on the weekly time frame. First of all, I wanted to, tell you a little bit about this company. It's one of the most recognizable firearms manufacturers in the United States. I am against that. I mean, I'm not going to start an argument here about why the firearms should be allowed or not, but these firearms are killing thousands of people in the US, whereas in Canada, there's nothing, and in other parts of the world, you know what I mean? But this is a company that make money selling firearms. They are a firearms manufacturer, and they have been around since the 1800 and supplying laws, force enforcement, military and civilians. Very cyclical business, but charts don't care about that. They care about price action and supply and demand. So what matters? Well, it matters that these two weekly imbalances here are where the big institutions, the footprints that leave behind when they position themselves. So on the Smith and Wesson brands American stock SWBI, that's the symbol ID, the ticker, has given us clear textbook samples on how to trade these imbalances. And I shared this one on the community, and now I'm sharing this one with you. We have to wait now. Why? Well, this was an imbalance here created, a very strong rally, and then we waited for a couple of months and then it dropped down there. Now we have the same picture, okay? Very strong imbalance with an even larger candlestick. I mean, this is the largest candlestick after this one back into December 2024, and this one here in March 2024. So these two impulses are, strong impulse, but it's also a strong correction, a strong impulse, and now we are waiting for the correction. So these two weekly demand levels are, quite important, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because, as I always say, we don't care about news, but when news and earnings releases happen right at the imbalances or create imbalances, those are really, really good. So, I guess you remember, I never use news to justify a trade. News doesn't matter, the imbalances does. We can see the earnings releases here, the news that happen for this particular stock, Smith and Wesson. But when they align with these strong imbalances, that's great, even better. Even if it was negative, it's going to rally. I mean, usually that is what usually happens, so they should be disregarded for that reason. And that's exactly what happened. Price pulled back to the weekly demand level at $26 per share, tapped into that institutional footprint that we talked about a few weeks ago, and reacted beautifully with a clean bullish impulse. So price action, supply and demand, that's what it takes to take a trade. Patience, a month, 2 months waiting was rewarded, emotions deleted from the equations, just supply and demand doing its logic together with price action. So this one here, this imbalance, this impulse was created in the beginning of September 2025 after positive earnings release. So that created this impulse then it reached that area of supply, it dropped, and now new demand level has been created here at $84 per share. So this is where most stock traders go wrong when they try to do intraday and short-term trades. They want to force trades in the middle of nowhere, maybe here, maybe there, not being unaware of this weekly supply level that has already been eliminated. They start to go short here. They look at the daily, everything was down, blah blah blah, impulses, okay, and then I'm gonna short, and then it reverses. What happened? Okay, what happened is supply and demand happened. Okay, see, you were trying to sell into demand, and then that would have caused a loss. So institutional traders and professional, they create these imbalances through news, earnings, and all kind of manipulations. And that's exactly where you and any other forex, or in this case, stock trader, wants to buy. Okay, it is always a patience game. So trading is not about predicting; it's about waiting all the time. 99% of the time. If you feel impatient, congratulations, because you are human. I am human too, and sometimes I feel very impatient, but I try to control that by analyzing the markets when they are closed, like right now at 10:30 a.m. GMT +1 time, a few hours still left for the market to open, so I make my decisions when the market is closed, so I do not rush into trading. So if you act impatiently, well, you are broke. So, and SWBI, Smith Wesson stock, is a perfect demonstration of why waiting for price action for price to return to an imbalance is the way to go, and why waiting for the bigger time frame like the weekly demand level is the way to go to align with the bullishness we see in this particular American stock. And we wait for the reaction, and it happened. So no rush, no fear, no more like I hope. No, hope is not a strategy. It's not a stock trading strategy. Hope is just hope. Okay, so news versus imbalances. So this one over here, this news in the beginning of September created this imbalance. We ignore the news, but it is a fact that it created the imbalance. When an earnings release creates this imbalance, then price usually respects that and it comes back to the imbalance, as it happened here later at the end of November 2025. And what happened? Where while the imbalance that took control, created by the positive earnings for Smith Wesson brand stock, was in control, then another quarterly imbalance happened on the 4th of December 2025. Positive earnings, and then that caused this super strong rally. So it becomes one of the best real world examples you can show a stock trader who is doubting the power of supply and demand. Okay, and this chart for Smith Wesson brands on the weekly time frame doesn't move because analysts got excited or each of them had a different prediction. It moves because institutional orders were stacked at that imbalance, okay, before you saw the earnings number coming. So that's what usually happens. So Smith & Wesson is a clear example of beautiful example of how price action behaves around weekly demand levels together with earnings releases, as I showed. Both aligned with earnings, one already played out, which is this one, and another one's been created. So buying right now is not a good idea because it's like saying, okay, I'm going to buy here after the rally. No, it drops. The same applies to this impulse, okay? So you want to learn to trade stocks with supply and demand and price action, patience, discipline, and no noise. This is the path, okay? So if you like this video, click on the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I will be glad to help you understand the markets. I will be sharing more stock analysis soon. Have a great day.